Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Debbie at Basket Case Mama Fab Finds, and I am here this morning. It is really early. It's like 4:30 in the morning. It's terrible. But I couldn't sleep, so I came down and I thought I could do this morning instead. So today we're doing a what sold video for the month of April, and for the month of April, and not too much sold, but not, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was just meh, and it's been meh since February, and it was meh in May. So, I'm not going to complain because I had some decent sales, but it's not been crazy good, and so we're working on figuring that out, and it's going to be not so good for at least another week, probably because I was away almost the entire month of May, which of course didn't help sales. So if you think this one's sad, wait until May gets here. It's going to be dreadful. But it's all okay. It's all okay. There were some family things that need to be handled in May. There was my birthday. My husband took me away for our birthday. We went to Pennsylvania to spa, which was very nice. So I'm not complaining because those things were nice. We went to visit my mother-in-law, who's 99. God love her, and she'll be 100 in November. So she's doing great, thank goodness. And we're really grateful that we had the opportunity to do that and spend some time with her. Hopefully we'll go down again. We also went looking at some houses in South Carolina. The house we really were looking to hope to get, unfortunately sold. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so it was a busy month. So this is for actually last month, April, and let's get to it. Okay, here we go. So these are the sales for April. And you will see me looking down because I know you will see glare because it's 4:30 in the morning and the light, there's no sun yet this morning in my office. So I'm left with the glary sun, give me sunburn lights that are over my head so I get a little halo. And then I put my light up here to just so there'd be a little light on my face this morning. So I'm being blinded by the light kind of literally a little bit. So if you see me doing the blinkies, because it's just a desk lamp kind of turned towards me, and it's very bright. And I literally, this is my coffee. And I haven't sipped any yet, so I'm going to sip a little and then we'll go. It's not going to do the job that quickly, but it's okay. And today's Saturday, so today's yard sale day. There's a big community yard sale, like 60 houses participating nearby. I wasn't going to go out because if you could see behind me, you can see piles behind me, that there's a lot back there that needs to get photographed and listed, and needs videos done, which I haven't done yet either because I was away. So I'm playing catch up, but it's okay. It's all good. So as we look at these on the screen, because I'm doing this on the screen, you will see that it's very weird that there's tan pant pictures with blue pant pictures in this. But at any rate, these are sold. But you'll see the price on the screen was what I was asking for. Oftentimes that's not the price they sold for. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it is not. And I will let you know what the actual price is. Okay. So on this one, these were Scotch and Soda Amsterdam was the style, straight leg pants. Amsterdam Couture. That's the companies from Amsterdam. Sorry, the pants were. Sorry, let me make him go away because he's just there. It's like there and it doesn't want to go, and it's just really, really annoying. And there's a way to make it go away. No, I don't want to activate it. I want you to go away. Hide for 30 minutes. That should do it. Good. Okay. So it was a navy blue pants, and they were called a Stuart. And I picked up like 4 pairs of these probably a year ago at Goodwill. They comped out really well, but they took a while to sell. This pair did sell on an offer for $33. Boy, that worked really well, didn't it? wonder if it's going to do it on every page because I'm going to have to turn it off completely if that continues. Maybe I'll just do that. Can I turn it off? Maybe not. Okay, let's just start over. So anyway, okay, so these are the things that have sold for May. You'll see a price here up on the screen. That is the price I was asking for it. If there's an 88 or a 22, usually that means I've lowered the price, and it's my way of letting me know I lowered the price at some point, because I believe these were originally listed for like $60 or $65. That's what they were comping out for when I bought them. And they sat for a while, so I lowered the price of it to see if they would move. Anyway, so this pair did sell for an offer of $33 because I've had them about a year, and I'd like to be rid of them. In fact, the clothes that I have, I'd like to be rid of all of them. But, you know, it's a process. You live and you learn. And these were Scotch and Sodas, and the style was Stuart, and it was a navy blue color. The next item up is a Lululemon tank top. It was a men's medium with a geometric pattern on it. And I had them listed originally, I think, for $30. I lowered the price to $22, and then I took an offer of $15.50. And honestly, I have had 2 Lululemon items, and both of them in this area, you have to pay up for them. I don't think I will pick up anymore because it doesn't sell for me, and it doesn't sell for good money for me. It's just not really worth it. So, you know, everybody is different, but for me, that's not a really good pick. These, however, were kind of a good kit pick because these are teeny tiny Build-A-Bear brown cowboy boots or cowgirl boots. And they're suede and they're super cute. And on the back of them is your little Build-A-Bear tag. And I picked up a bag of these at a yard sale last year with a bunch of other clothing, and I think I paid $5 for the whole bag. And made my money back the first thing that sold. So this is all pure profit. So, and these are just little, as you see, boots. They sold for an offer of $8, and so it's, you know, for boots that are literally that big, $8, not bad. So this is a little lot of Marvel pins. It was Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. Little Marvel enamel pins. And I got these free at a yard sale. The lady said, "Oh, you can just have them." So I think I needed to give her $1 because she told me I could just have like 4 things. So I said, like, here, it's just $1. They were her sons, and so like he got to keep the $1. But these sold for an offer of $14. And this was a little, maybe, I think it was like 5 by 5 size, maybe 6 by 6, pen and ink drawing by the signature just said Leslie. It was a fox. It was in a little silver frame. There's his signature. There's another picture of it. It was all black and white except for the eyes were that gold color. Super cute. And I accepted an offer of $50 on this item. So I really do like doing art. It doesn't move quickly, but some of it really sells well. It just takes a little while, and that didn't take up much space, so it wasn't terrible. So this is a vintage 1997 Husky Wolf Dog, and it's a tie. As you can see, I took a picture of his little blue eyes. So I don't think he was a Beanie Baby, but he was not gigantic either. He did have pellets in him, and he laid floppy like that. So he might have been a classic, but it didn't say. Some of them have things on the tag that'll help you, but I didn't put it in there. I just put what he was and took pictures of him. And wolves and huskies generally do really well no matter what, and he sold for the full ask of $30. This is a Cloud Island bunny rabbit lovey, and it was big. I'm not sure. I'm sure the size is in there, but I want to say it was like 30 by 30, 24 by 24, 26 by 26. It was big. It was, a really big levy. It had the satin edge, it had little polka dots on it. It was a minky top and kind of that heavier furry fleece underneath. It was in beautiful condition. And I picked this up with in a bag. It was maybe 4 or 5 levies in the bag, and this was one of the ones in there. And I want to say for the whole bag, maybe $5 to $6. So it wasn't very much, but it sold for the full price of $49.98. And the very cool thing about this, I don't think it was listed a week. So it sold really fast. So some levies do, and some stuffed animals do, and others don't. But a few things in here, literally, they are in some of the haul videos that I did. Like, I think March and April, I did some haul videos. I didn't get any done last month, I don't think, because maybe 1 or 2, because it's just I wasn't around. But if you go back and look, I haven't had it I didn't have it very long, and it wasn't listed very long, because my haul videos does not necessarily mean that it's gotten listed right away. I do try to kick them out as I go, and we'll see how it goes. I would like to get to a place where I'm listing it and then doing the video. So, I have the information. We're getting there. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. So these are Skechers. They were given to me by my aunt. She had a couple pairs of shoes that she were in really good shape. She didn't want to keep, and these are fit up a level, and they're a size 8.5. And I put the style number that was inside of them in there, and they sold for the full price of $39.98. Now, this guy here was a auction, and I don't do a lot of auctions, but there were a lot of different prices on this particular little guy here, so I priced him up a bit. I think I started the auction at $75. He sold for $76, and he's a 1987 Cabbage Patch. Number 17 is the mold. On the back of his head, there's a number. That's the mold style that determines like the look on their face a little bit and things like that. And it's Calico, and it's KT is the location, or I think something like that. And red hair, curly. He had his little Easter outfit on. He was super cute. And he sold for $76. So not all Cabbage Patch do well, but he was older, and boys do better. Red hair does better. And that's my limited knowledge of Cabbage Patch. Other than look for the number, the number, the mold, the year, and what factory it was made in. So that can help you. Okay, so this guy here, this is little thing I picked up in a bag of toys, and I didn't list her for a long time because I really didn't think she was worth messing around with. But I was trying to clean up the odd and end stuff that I had, and I had taken pictures of her at some point in my phone, and I was trying to clean up. So I decided I would look her up and see what I could find out about her, because she had no marks on her. She had no information whatsoever that would help me to figure out who she was. So I Google lensed, and I got several different possibilities. Now, Google Lens is on your phone. If you have Google on your phone, when you go to look up something on Google, to the right side of the search bar, there's a little icon for a picture. And if you click on that, it opens the Google lookup app, and you can go on there and find out, what an item is, sometimes by just taking a picture. You can do this on eBay too, and it'll find similar looking things on eBay. So I looked it up, and there were 2 possibilities, and I did a little bit of research, and it turned out that this was a thing called a Pixie Pal, and that she was very rare, and her tail comes off. She's got little legs in there, and she was worth somewhere between $30 and $35. So I priced her $35 in case I have to take an offer, and all was well. And then she was, again, not listed a week. I get a message from someone in France asking would I ship to France, because I don't have an international shipping on. I do flat rate shipping in the US, and I will ship internationally if I'm allowed to ship internationally, because some things you can't, like you can't ship Levi's out of the country. Um, but I'll look it up and I'll find out. But I don't, and it's not that it's hard to do because eBay International is super easy. It would just mean I would have to go through all my items and weigh them because I need to know what the weight in the box it's going to go into. I have 3,000 items right now, I think, listed. And no, I don't want to. So if a person asks me, I will definitely look into it, give them the price. Often it's super expensive, and they know it. And it was super expensive before. It's super expensive. Everybody's, oh, there's tariffs. It was super expensive before there were tariffs. It was just super expensive to go overseas. But if it's something that's very collectible, hard to find, important to somebody, they don't care if they have to spend a lot of money on shipping it. So it did end up shipping overseas. I don't remember what the shipping was, but it was very close to the price of the item. And excuse me. So she paid. Oh, I do have the all-in written down. So she paid the full price, $35 plus shipping and tax. It came out to well, I don't know what the tax was, but it came out all in to $68.60, and she was delighted. And I got to practice my French a little bit because my French is pauvre. But I was fluent. I could speak fluently French through high school and college. But if you don't use it all the time, you lose it. So I can now say pretty much colors, numbers, and curse words, which I try not to use. And I curse better in Italian than I do in French, if that matters, or if that's any kind of indication. Only because I worked with Italian guys when I worked in finance for years. And I worked with mostly guys, and they were mostly Italian. So, but I did speak French fluently. So, thanks to Babel Fish online, I can translate my English to French fairly well. I'm not sure I'm conjugating my verbs accurately there, but she got the gist, and it was very nice. So that was fun. So this is a retired Scentsy. This is Lenny the Lamb, and he. I don't think this one had a scent pack in him, but because usually I put scent included or scented or something in the title when I do this. And I've sold several of these. These do sell okay, usually around $20, $25, depending on what they are, some a little bit more. But he sold for the full price of $18.88. And again, he was probably 24 and got his price lowered. This is an Enrico Guccini Art Deco necktie. If you've watched me before, you know Art Deco neckties sell. And this one sold for $16.20 on an offer, or it might have been on sale. So this guy here is a Boy Scout patch from Susquehannock chapter in Pennsylvania. It's from the 1970s. Again, I used the app on Google to look it up because otherwise I wouldn't know. And I also put this on an auction because, frankly, I was curious what it would do because I saw some of them had sold for a lot of money. And from this decade, not necessarily this chapter, but I listed it for $70 and it sold for $70. And I sent it out and the man contacted me. Now I have two of them. To me, they look exactly the same. Exactly the same. To him, the stitching on this one is a little closer to the top or something slightly different than the other one, and he wanted this one, not the other one. So I sent the other one. I just took one of two, and thinking that would be fine. And he reached out and he returned it, and he wanted the other one. So it was fine. He still paid $70 for it. It was no big deal, but it was weird because to me they look identical. Now I'm sure if I sit here now and look, maybe these two, the U and the A, are a little higher on this one. And maybe that was what was going on because that's maybe a slight error. I have no idea. But hey, it was $70 and I have pennies in it. So all good by me. So do not discount patches, Boy Scout patches, military patches, if you can pick up a bunch of them, not too expensive. They take a while to look up, but they tend to do very well. I have some military patches, and they have sold pretty well too. I think 2 patches made up for what I paid for like 15 of them, so it was all good. This is a vintage quilted tissue box cover. I put the words cottagecore in there. It's brown and like a patterned, and I took lots of pictures of like the little patchworks on it. Should have put patchwork in there. That would have been work. But it was cute, and you can see the tissue comes out the chimney. And I actually have 2 of these. The other one I had to fix a seam that come undone, so I haven't got that one listed yet. But this one sold for full price at $15. This is an Ohio State Buckeyes cap. It still had the tags on it. And it was a buckle back. Okay, so that's the buckle back, as opposed to a snapback, which are the plastic things with little snaps, as opposed to fitted. If you're not familiar, fitted are way harder to sell because they're fitted. Snapbacks are the favorite because they're snapbacks. And, new always does better, and stains are hard to get out. So if you have not bought them, keep all those things in mind. But they do pretty well if you're looking for them. I had this one a while though, and it finally sold for an offer of $27. Okay, so this is one of the very first things I ever picked up. So what is that? 2.5 years ago. And I'd seen another reseller talk about these, and I thought, oh, okay, this is cool. I found one, great. And I picked it up, and it sat, and it sat, and it sat. But it finally sold. It finally sold for $18.50. It's a Brother Pete Touch label maker. It does work. It lights up. It turns on, but it needed tape. So this is some ornate brocade ribbon that I have. It has some metallic gold thread in it, and I have like 15 yards of it or something. I bought it years ago for my daughter to do curtains. It never happened. Yes, I do so. No, I don't always get everything done that I envision will happen. I'm like everybody else. But it's on sale on my store for $9.99 a yard, and I've sold 2 yards of it. This one and this yard of it sold for $7 on an offer. I don't know what the other one sold for till we get to it, but this is a chicken on a nest. It was chenille. It's a little decoration. It has little like pipe cleaner chickies in there with it. There's a chickie. There's 3 chickies in there, I think. And it has like pipe cleaner wings, and it's cute. It's got googly eyes, and it's old. It's not in perfect shape at all. But it's cute, and it sold for $12.99, and I got positive feedback. The person was very happy with it. So this is a lot of Mattel Little People Zoo Talkers, their replacement animals for thing, and I did have them all listed separately for about a year. And when I was going through and doing inventory this year, I pulled them and decided I was going to list them together and see what would happen, because they hadn't sold, and they came in a lot of toys that I bought over a year ago. And I lotted them up for $20, and they sold for $15. So this is a California stuffed toy lamb. He's little. There he is. I had to hold him up to see his face, but he's little and sleepy. I'll see if we can get the tag. I'm sure the tag. There you go. California stuffed toys. And he's made in Korea, so he's vintage. And he was listed for $30, and he sold for $30. You can see he's not, I'm holding him in my hand, he's not very big. Maybe about 6 inches. So this is a Joseph and Feist dress shirt from the 80s. It's in very good condition, and it's one of the no iron ones. And I do pretty well with dress shirts, so I tend to pick them up. It was listed for $25, and I took an offer of $20. These are a pair of Citizen of Humanity jeans. They were listed for $55.78. I took an offer of $50.20, or it was on sale. And I actually got a request to return them. They didn't fit, which is fine. and they didn't come back. And then I saw a note the other day when I got back from vacation that the person, I guess, had opened a case for them. I don't know why. Truly, I don't. But they didn't return them in time. I think they were trying to get to return them after the 30 days, and they just closed the case and said, no, sorry. So it was all good. For me, I didn't have to do anything, but yeah, that was weird. And that's one of the downfalls of clothing is you get a lot of returns for they didn't fit. This is a pair of Greg Norman shorts, scoff shorts. They were listed for $22.22 and sold on an offer for $18. So this is a very beat up, Easy Light, vintage Scotty Dog cigarette lighter. It was made in Japan, and I overpaid for these, by the way. I saw them at a yard sale. They were like, she had a bunch of little vintage things, and she wanted like $5 a piece for them, and I think I ended up paying $4 a piece for them, and this one sold for $8.99, so I doubled my money, but you know, I usually like to keep it above $10 when I can. Some things can't, like little things. I have some military stuff that's like $5 at the most, and that's it. So, and generally when I'm going into the, excuse me, my morning allergic is kicking in. Usually if I'm doing lower priced items, I have to cap off and I won't take any less than $3 for anything. If it's going to sell for less than $3, I don't even list it. Primarily because by the time you get done with the fees, it's a real waste of time for me. So, you know, I try to really avoid things that are under $10. But some little things, if it comes in a lot and I'm not, it's like 2 pictures, I'll just list it and see what happens. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it sells, and you know, it's okay. So this is a Peter Blair tie. It has X's and O's all over it. It was silk. When it has like this repeating kind of pattern, it's called foulard. So I put that in the title, and it is listed for $30 and sold for $30. And here's the other yard of ribbon that sold, and that was sold for the full price of $9.99. These are Brahma suede sneakers. Again, something I picked up a long time ago. I have a pair of Brahma boots somewhere too. I think they might have sold as well, but Brahma doesn't sell for much money, which, you know, live and learn. Some things are listed. It's funny, when you look things up, you see things listed for higher prices, and, you know, even though it's 90 days or 30 days, but by the time it sells, sometimes the prices change, so it just, you kind of hedge your bets with clothing especially, but, and shoes. But these sold for $16. This is a pair of clip-on earrings, and they are unmarked. They're just pearlescent gold balls with the hinge. And I took pictures of the hinge and the ball up close. And these are not good pictures because these are taken on a little black, like, piece of clapboard or something. These are I hurried up and took these pictures. But they were listed for $10, and they sold for an offer of $6.50. So again, funny story. These are Calico Critters dollhouse furniture. 1/16 is the size. So I get a message from someone, and I'm pretty sure it's the person that bought it. Do all the chairs fit on do 2 chairs fit on one side of the table? I don't know. Let me pull it and look. So I pull it, I look, I move the chairs. Yep, they fit. I take a picture of the chairs fitting on the one side of the table. Yep, they fit, 2 on each side. Took a couple shots, sent it to them by text, you know, or through the DM system on eBay. Great. So a little bit after that, they were bought. I shipped them. It's fine. I get neutral feedback with a note. Neutral feedback is the killer for me. Like, the chairs with the set are not the chairs that go with the table. Now, how in the heck I would know this, I don't know. But I did take lots of pictures of the chairs. Look, that's there. There's a flower there. There's a flower there. I don't know. They look like they go together. They're very similar in color and style. I'm assuming look, they're all, I mean, I don't know what else I could have done. Anyway, so they're not supposedly the chairs that go with the table. And I couldn't tell you that's true or not because I don't know. But I like them. Neutral feedback. They're not the chairs that go with the table, but I like them. Okay. I don't understand it. Neutral feedback is the killer of all things in my brain, honestly, but and bad negative too, but there you have it. So I had this guy such a long time and he was brand new. And of course he sold in April because it was Easter, but Manhattan Toy Company bunny with floral ears. It's so cute. Brand new. Still has tags on them. I mean, I don't say they're brand new. I just say with tags, but it's used. Excellent condition, has original tags. Um, White is always hard. He was beautifully clean. So, I put that all in the listing. But it did take almost a whole year to sell, and I was really surprised because he's still cute. And he's Manhattan Toy, which is one of the good, really nice plush companies. And he sold for full price though at $24. So this is something that you saw in the haul videos recently. This is a gun, Pottery Barn Kids, Clancy Bear, and he was shaggy and plush and floppy, and he sold literally almost instantly. I listed him, and I'll bet you he sold a week later for the full price of $29.99. So this I bought last year at a yard sale, and it was just intriguing to me. It was a lot. It was in a jar of Teamster buttons from the 70s for Sunoco oil company. It's Teamster 636. They were vintage, and they had the years on them and the lodge number, and they were all different colors. And I'm sure this was like some kind of convention, or like they had the months too, so like November. So I don't know if it was for paying your dues or what type of thing it was that was going on. And then there were the Sunoco I Can Be Very Friendly buttons, which were a little creepy to me, honestly. But like, okay. And they were like the clip-on metal buttons, but they were on the thing, and I just loaded it up and I put the buttons in order by year and took lots of pictures, and the best I could. And I think I paid maybe $10 for the whole jar, maybe five. I don't think I paid 10. I think he took five. He wanted 10, but they sold for the full price of $45. This is a mid-century modern. That's what MCM means. I put modern retro necklace, lucite, blue and white. Geometric would have been a good word too had I thought about it. Discs. Any number of words that I did put in there. I always look later and think, I should have said this. Anyway, it was listed for 30 and it sold for 21 on an offer. This is a Vineyard Vines necktie. It stars. It had little wavy lines on it. This is what the Vineyard Vine tag looks like. If you happen to find it, it was silk, and I did put patriotic and blue and white in there, and it was listed for $50 and sold for the full price of $50. So guys, neckties, $50, and most of the neckties that I pick up are under $2.50. So if you see Vineyard Vines, I've sold 3 of them. The ones that have cool patterns always do well, but also like I had one that was for like a college, a collegiate one that sold for a lot of money too as well. I think over $40. And then I had one that was for some union thing. I can't remember the word, but also sold for around $50. So if you see those, just keep an eye out because Vineyard Vine ties do well. And this is a vintage Japanese chinoiserie. Yeah, I like that word. It's a French word for Chinese, Asian style. And it's a porcelain cherry blossoms. It has sparrow on it. It was really pretty and a really nice porcelain, like a very kind of opaque, kind of almost see-through. It took a very long time to sell, though. There was, I think, last year, the craze was kind of chinoiserie style in design, and I should never pay attention to things like this because they change too quickly. But lots of ginger jars and things like that were hot. So I did pick up a lot of them, and then of course none of them sold. So now I have a lot of ginger jars and Asian things and sake cups and things in my store. So hopefully the craze will like get to the part of the country that actually is buying this stuff because it hasn't gotten over this way yet. I don't know, but it did sell for $22, which is what I was asking for it. And here's another thing you guys would have seen recently in that video of the bull Lovey from Carter's, and he's a hugger. As you can see, he's hugging his blanket there, and the blanket it has wear. The tag was naked. It had been washed, and it does say tag faded from washing, slight fray on tag, minor wear from wash. And it sold almost instantaneously for $18.52. So there you have it. So anyway, that's everything that sold in April. Like I said, not a lot. Not a great month. This month, sale-wise, there were some decent sales, and there were some decent sales in May too for me. And I even made a couple while I was on vacation. But it's been remarkably slow on eBay, and I'm not sure why. And I wish I could give you a great answer. People have recommended put your store on sale. Tried that, didn't work. Send a coupon out, did that. It helps. It spikes your sales a little bit, but the just general selling of things isn't going as it was. I don't know if it is because more people are selling on Whatnot and just purging their things for more pennies on the dollar kind of sale. That could be part of it. It just could be, new presidency. People are always jittery in election years and the beginning of election cycles about economy stuff. And, understandably, the economy was pretty rotten coming out of the end of the last thing, so it hasn't really bounced yet. Will it? Maybe. Will it not? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not an economist. I'm not even a political commentator, so I can't tell you which ideas work better. I just can tell you when I go to the grocery store if, things are expensive or they're not, just like everybody else. Prices have come down on some things. I've just kind of lingered on other things, so I don't think we're seeing too much fruit of the vines of the new administration's attempts to fix things. Hopefully we will in short order. We'll see. Things are bouncing around a little bit. Everybody's a bit jittery, so that could be that. It just could be, people didn't get as much taxes back and didn't do a lot of shopping and had other things to pay for. It ebbs and flows. So I just keep plugging along. I don't get too concerned about things. Yes, eBay messes around with things. The algorithm changes. Yes, it does matter if you're listing all the time, which I haven't been. So that part of it, I have been more lately. That matters. Another thing that some people said, and this may be true, is when you're listing higher value items, your stuff is getting seen more, which makes sense for eBay because they make more commission off of it. So, as you see, there are a lot of $20 items, but when you're listing more $50, $100 items, your items are probably getting seen more. Some people say, oh, you gotta, do the promotional stuff that they make you do. I do promote my items, but I don't promote it. I only promote it for 2%. Some people do 8%, some people do 10%, some people do 15%, some people do whatever eBay tells you percent. They already get a good percentage of the item selling, okay? Giving them more money for doing their job just goes against all the things within me, truly. So I struggle with it. I do. I struggle with having to pay for promotions and ads and things like that, because isn't that what you're getting the other money for? I know there's other stuff they do. There's algorithms and, providing the platform for which things go on. And I don't have a hate relationship with eBay generally. appreciate what they do. And I understand that people to pay. But I think if they just did what they were supposed to do and made it so more stuff sold and made it like more advertising and more things to bring more people onto the platform, so that more, now's the time, when the economy is stagnating, when things are expensive at the store, when people are trying to save money, eBay is the place to shop. Online places like this where you're buying things that are secondhand or you were, still have tags on them, but somebody owned them before. There's an opportunity to save money. There's things that go on auction that are reasonably priced. You can get something, whether it's like for gifts for people that collect things. There's lots of ways you can get some really decent things, even paying shipping for less than you would pay if you were trying to find them at a antique store or at a at a auction house or new or on Amazon. Amazon says free shipping, but lots of times you're paying up for the free shipping, so it's not really free. It's only free if you're not paying up for the shipping in the price of the item. I could do free shipping and up my price $10, and it might sell because I did that. But to me, that's kind of, I don't know, a little slimy. Like I'm still charging you for the shipping. I just put in the price of the item. And it used to be, and eBay of course changes now. It used to be that people tried to avoid paying eBay fees by making the item $1 and charging you $15 or $20 for shipping, even though that's not what it was going to cost, because they didn't have to pay fees on the shipping. Now you pay fees on the shipping, so you're not going to get away with that. So yes, that's why I don't sell things for under $5, because I'm also going to pay fees on the shipping. So I'm going to end up in the hole at some point doing that kind of stuff, and that's not why I'm doing this. This is way too much work to end up in the negatives. So that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, do the thumbs up, make a comment, let me know if you saw something you thought was cute or interesting. I know it wasn't a lot today, but it is what it is right now, and I just have to be grateful for what it is. And say a prayer that eBay starts picking up, because it has been very sluggish, and it's for people to do this full time that need the income to be more regular, and it is not better on other platforms. I do cross post to Poshmark. I don't to Macquarie right now, and I do sell things on Whatnot. I just haven't, because it's time consuming for me lately. But I do have some Whatnot sales coming up. Keep an eye out if you're on Whatnot. There will be some stuff coming up. So there are other platforms, and I do list on some of them, but those are the same way. Like Etsy's slow, and Poshmark's slow, and Macquarie's slow, and Depop, and all of them. They're anybody that sells on multiple will tell you that they sell probably most of their items on eBay, and then the other platforms 1 or 2 items here, 1 or 2 items there. That's fine. You're selling them. It doesn't matter how they sell. But you're also paying to list them on some of those sites, so you have to keep those things in mind. So anyway, it's all good for today. Again, like the video, hit the notification button so you'll know next time I go live, because I'm not on the schedule great yet. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress all the time. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.